There was still water standing 6 feet deep in people's homes 2 weeks after the flood. Through waters laced with chemicals and human excrement and bloated bodies, Black and brown people went out every day to save the kin left behind. King George said, "Let them eat floodwater," and they choked on the watery ashes of progress. "Please," he said, standing in a canoe in what remained of the 7th Ward, hands in the air, eyes trained on the hypnotic guns of 4 officers who minutes before had fired 3 shots that may or may not have been warnings. "Please," he said, heart heavy in his mouth, "I'm looking for the body of my son. Let me find my son's body." The Mississippi River was dragged in the 60s to find the bodies of 3 civil rights workers murdered by the Klan. Dozens of human remains were found, all Black, all nameless. They were unimportant to media coverage and bureaucracy and good race relations, so they were thrown back to the river. How many lives were submerged until they stopped kicking? The Mississippi is claiming the bodies of the lynched once again. And in a town 2 hours outside of New Orleans, corpses were unearthed from the grave set free to flow down the street. An old man sits on his porch. "I built this house with my hands. Lived here 58 years with my wife, till she died 2 years ago. I saw her casket in the water 2 weeks ago. I can't get nobody to help me put her back in the ground where she belongs so she can rest. Won't anybody help me? Dear God, FEMA, please help us. Don't leave us here to die," read the graffiti on a house completely surrounded by water. 2 weeks and no relief. 3 weeks and no aid. 4 weeks and no FEMA. "Yeah, they gave us something," the brother snorted, dreads coiled and purring on his head. He was one out in boats every day taking people to the promised land of higher ground. On the 5th day, Red Cross dropped some hard rock candy on our heads. Don't let them tell you they never gave us nothing. And they gave them National Guard and NYPD and the U.S. Forestry Department and INS and Border Patrol and the Office of Homeland Security and state troopers and detachments and battalions and tanks and automatic weapons and concrete floors and work camps and blood and blood and blood and bullets. And don't let them tell you they never gave us nothing. The waters receded. The human tide trickles in. An old young woman stands in her decomposing house. Black mold climbs up the walls, coating baby pictures and high school diplomas. Her 4 daughters chase after their 11 collective children. She holds the youngest one in her arms, and he has nothing but wise eyes and heavy brow. "Of course we're staying," she hefts the tiny sage to the other hip. "I don't know what we gonna do. But this is ours. We won't leave it." And she does not mean this cramped house and dead yard out front. She means this spark of hope, soggy, sputtering, but burning out enough space to catch a breath.